And this is apparently, they're trying to get you to believe that this is a mound made in the shape of an animal, and there's some baby ones or something back here, but I think this is no different to a lot of the stuff I've been pointing out, that this was actually a creature, you know, an animal, a mammal, no different than what we have today. Everything was just bigger, wasn't it? Wiped out at various times, and it's all put back, but less perfect. This is actually a mound. I didn't write down where it was, and it's been excavated by archaeologists, and they've ruined it again in some way. They've moved a lot of stones out and they've plonked them on top, and they call it a burial mound. But this image here is unbelievable. It's actually the best image I've ever found on giants, because I'm telling you, what you're looking at here is actually, this entire doorway here is a mouth. But when you look back here, you can see all the rest of the teeth. Right? This is obviously the bottom of the jaw. Right? It even arcs out like your chin does. This up here is actually the edge, you know, of the chin or whatever, right? All these pieces here, most of these pieces are all from this one giant. You can see the back of the mouth there, right? You see that? But this is where they pump the liquid nitrogen through these pipes into all this. It would have had a covering over this to keep it, you know, to keep the cold in, right? Which is, you know, this is obviously something modern, and this is a covering over the exact, that's exactly the same thing as what I've just shown you, right? You know, but archaeologists may have since knocked this off as this were corroding, as this were turning hard. You know, the stuff on the outside with the damp got soft, so they've since knocked it off and revealed this, and started moving things around and presenting their Egyptian garbage, which was in a video. This is actually from a site from my last video, which I think is actually my best work. I didn't give you the name. I did tell you that it was in Malta, and the site is actually Hagar Kim, or Quim, Q-I-M. And Mainstream Archaeology present this artifact here as being a freestanding altar, 3000 BC old, with trees carved into it. Now, I'll just come out and tell you, this looks like some type of garden heater to me. I've actually seen things like this, and some of you will have as well. This is obviously to stop it burning. It's type of what was inside some of the walls that I showed you on the last video. The white substance, this turned into it. This is obviously from that period, but yeah, it just looks like some type of garden heater. Okay, it's not an altar, and it's not that old either. So these are the images that you've not seen before, and these, you know, this even here is not artwork. This is part of the freezer technology. You can see where the covering's been knocked off there. This is obviously modern. You've got fans, and this is some of the, like, almost what I'm going to show you now. This image is actually the be-all and end-all of me presenting that this underneath Sakara pyramid was a freezer. Inspect this image. It's on my Google page. Download it. It's very important. This thing here is unbelievable. These are the tiles. They're like freezer, well, the warehouse freezer tiles, and they keep the cold in. You know, this, you know, they stay cold for a long time. right? And obviously it's all turned into this white limestone stuff. And that's obviously the piping where they were pumping the liquid nitrogen through, or whatever technology they eventually came up with to keep everything cold. But this thing has since collapsed on itself. It's just amazing, that image. This is obviously something modern. These are the tiles. They stay cold. Okay, it's a freezer. It's obviously on the bottom of the ocean, and it won't have been as long as what archaeology makes out. But again, what are you looking at here? You're looking at a build-up of stuff from being on the ocean floor, and as it comes to the surface it dries out and basically looks like this, right? So you've got this method, then you've got the method that I've told you where lime can turn anything into limestone, just like it does on the inside of caves. Then there's events we don't know of, like at Sodom and Gomorrah, and then there's just literally aeons of time which will return anything back to what it came from originally, right? But this Antikythera machine won't be what they have put forward it was, right? Because to create fine machine parts on the level that these measurements, right, are showing you, and still be accurate over and over again, you can only create something as technical as this on a computer and CNC machine. What type of civilization do you have to reach to be able to have the technology to mill down, lift, and create metal as hard as this, to create a safe like what you've got at Fort Knox and places like that? Look at the thickness of this door. Do you know how accurate this stuff is to be able to put on hinges like that and swing open something as heavy as this, right? This is another type, because I'm telling you, I'm going to show you something now. You might not see it straight away. I want you to keep watching this, because once you see it, it will blow your socks off. That is basically what you're looking at. Look, that is the huge hinge bolt, yeah? And the plate that held the door in place, yeah? And then was locked on this side. Okay, the door is completely gone, and all you're left with is an imprint of the stuff that I talk about. I will keep flashing backwards and forwards until you see it, right? Because basically my work is done here with just with this one image here, right? I could move on to something else now.